Hey guys, what's up? It's Nico here. In this 3D printed profits episode, I have you guys with Cory. Cory does 3D printed car parts, not like the ones you put inside the engine because it's rather heat sensitive, but Cory does interior stuff. So in this episode, we go through how we got into 3D printing, stuff like that. And also make sure you guys stay till after the episode. And I'm going to give you guys a product idea that you guys can 3D print and sell so you guys can start your own 3D printing side business. Cool. Again, as always, all the links in this episode is going to be in the description below if you're watching on YouTube. And if you're on your favorite podcast player, it's in the show notes. Cory, you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, man. So how did you get started in 3D printing? I'm really curious because everyone else is doing props and stuff like that. And you come along and say, no, I'm doing car parts.
Well, so I've been a mechanic all my life. Like I worked on helicopters in the Army. I got out and then I worked for Chrysler. I still currently work for Audi. So, I mean, all I've done is work on cars. My wife bought me my first 3D printer like 4 years ago. And I played with it for a little bit and it just kind of became a thing. Like, so I do race cars. I've been doing race cars for a long time.
Like actual, like race car, not like RC cars, right? Like an actual.
Yeah, like actual cars. Yeah,
Awesome.
I have an LS swapped RX-7. So.
FD, look at you.
Oh, I wish. Those are expensive. It's an FC.
All right, okay. Yeah. Older one. That's okay.
Yeah, I don't feel bad cutting those up. So I was wrenching on cars in my driveway and I was getting sick of doing that. So I needed something to make some money on the side. So I just started making keychains, like really small keychains of people's cars. And that just kind of tumbled into more things. So we went from doing keychains and signs to doing 3.5-inch mounts for Holley systems. So
wow,
what happened is the guy that I buy all my car parts from said, hey, there's this new Holley coming out and no one's making anything to mount these screens, and all these guys, they have them. So, we should do something. And literally it just blew up from there.
Nice, man. So what was that first machine that your wife got you?
It was a Monoprice Mini V1, but it was the knockoff version, the IP. I can't even remember what it's called, but yeah, the knockoff Monoprice V1.
Awesome. That's awesome, man. And so how much are you making currently a month in revenue?
So obviously it varies. Like this is going to be a slow month, but last month we did probably around 7-8 grand.
Nice.
So we average, like my lowest month ever has been like 4 grand in the last 2 years. So we average 4 to 6 grand a month usually.
Awesome, man. That's awesome. So let's go back to the product creation and the idea. So your buddy comes to you and says, hey, there's this car and no one's making parts for it to mount these screens. So what did you do then? Did you start going to prototype?
Yeah, so I actually taught myself how to learn Fusion. I mean, I taught myself how to use Fusion, but I never used it. And I just played with it. We came up with the very first one. It was just a suction cup mount. You can just put the screen in and put it on the windshield and be done.
And it worked. You're just like that.
Yeah. After that, it kind of, because no one else was doing anything, it was easier. So we were filling a niche that no one else really wanted to do. Like Holley doesn't even want to do it because, in all honesty, I don't even sell enough volume for them to care. But for me, it's great. For them, it wouldn't be. But we were just filling this crazy niche that no one was. And now I don't know, I probably make 13 different mounts just for the 3.5. Just for these Holley 3.5s. Oh, I have one somewhere around here. I'd have to find it.
Yeah. So that's cool, man. So Fusion 360 is the software that you use, and that's what people would use for creating stuff like that because it's very precise, and you have to be precise for parts, right?
Yeah, and I tried Tinker. Like I started with.
I don't think you can make that on Tinkercad, man.
No, I tried. It wasn't working out, so I had to teach myself Fusion.
So how did you learn Fusion? Just YouTube tutorials?
YouTube, lots of YouTube.
University of YouTube, huh?
No, what's the guy's name? Product design. can't remember his YouTube channel, but it's like product design and print or whatever.
Mm,
And I watched, he has like a 30-day series, and I watched most of them, and that kind of got me through most of it.
nice.
Um, and a lot of failing got me to getting better.
But persistence, right? Persistence
Yeah.
is the number one of the keys to becoming successful. A lot of people just quit on their first failure, and it's like, no, you got to keep going.
Yep. Yeah. A lot of people do that. I learned a long time ago that you will not figure it out the first time. It's usually like the 15th
Yeah,
time.
I agree. I agree. I agree. Um, so now that you guys have this idea, right? You've designed it, the prototype works, you tested it. How did you guys get your first clients? How did that work?
Well, so I'm building things for the, niche I'm already in. I've been doing cars all my life. So I already knew, like, it helped me that I already knew the people. Like, I knew my clientele, I knew who I had to talk to. So my buddy who gave me the idea, he owns a performance shop. um, he helped me with like the first batch. Like the first batch was like 20. We sold those in like a day.
No
And,
kidding.
oh yeah. Yeah, $55 a pop. We sold those quick.
Wow.
Um, so he put it out, everyone knows him. He's been selling car parts for a long time. So after that, it just snowballed. I just have, all I do is advertise on Facebook and all the car groups, groups that I've been doing for ever. I just said, hey, now I make this cool thing. Do you want it? And
Dude,
that,
that's
that was
so
it.
awesome. So zero money on marketing.
Yeah, no, I've spent zero money on marketing. I've tried to dabble in Facebook marketing, and it's hard for me.
I
So
agree.
I've
I
been playing
agree.
with it.
So what happened next, right? So you sold out in one day, which is congratulations to you guys.
Oh,
Um,
thanks.
what happened next?
I just kept going. I mean, people were like, well, can you make something that does this? So then we came out with column mounts. So you can mount them to any column, like any round column. I make one that you just give me your diameter and I'll make it fit on your column. Then someone wanted one that was magnetic, and it just snowballed. People would give me ideas and I'm like, I'm sure I can figure that out. And we just make them. That's how we have so many. So I mean, from that we went to the other screens because Holly makes a 7-inch screen. So I got my hands on one. We started doing those. Then they make a 686. I started doing those. So I just, every time something new comes out, I just try to make sure I'm ahead of everybody else. And it's easier because I can get a hold of these screens because I know somebody. So usually I can get ahead of most people to try to get these new mounting systems out there for these guys.
Cool, man. So where do you sell these? Do you sell them on Etsy? Do you sell them on your own website?
So I have my own website and I use eBay.
Okay.
My website's www.carchange3d.com.
All right.
So I looked at Etsy, and their portion of the profits just didn't make me feel very comfortable.
And
But
they
it's,
keep increasing rates. So
I don't know, yeah. So I've used Shopify. I've had great luck with Shopify for making a website on there.
love Shopify. Super easy to use. E-commerce is built in. Can't go wrong with it. Analytics.
Yeah, it's
I
been
sound like a
nice.
Shopify commercial.
I mean, if it works.
Dude, no, they really are. They're really great. I use Shopify as well for my files. So what else do you guys do? Do you do since now you know Fusion, right? Do you do design services as well? So when someone asks, "Hey, can you make this for me?" Do you do custom stuff for them? Do you do design services?
So if it's custom based off of stuff I've already done, like if they want some weird custom 3.5-inch stuff or some 7-inch, I'll do that. I try to keep it based on things I already know. So as long as it's something where I can kind of recycle a design that I already do into it, that's what I try to do. Or if it's something that I know more than one person's gonna want, like I built a vehicle specific mount for Camaros for the 3.5 because I knew I've sold, I don't know, probably 50 of them. I knew people were going to buy them because multiple people ask me, and so many, and I get a lot of people that talk to me and ask me if they can make them stuff. So once like 4 or 5 people ask me the same question, I try to develop something that'll fill that niche, or it's something that I can base it off of something I make already.
That's
So
awesome, man.
yeah, I try to stay away from really, really custom stuff because there's just not, it takes so much time and guys don't want to pay all your design time.
Yeah, they have, but they have to. If they want something super custom, they have to. They just don't
Yeah.
want to.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So it's easier to try to stick with based off of things you already have.
So when you guys first made that, your first income from it, did you guys then take that and invest it into more machines? What did you guys do with that initial lump sum of cash from this giant order?
So I just kept buying machines. When we started with keychains, because I did pretty much nothing but keychains for a whole year before we even got into Holly stuff. So that bought a lot of my initial machines, which was mostly, I had like 10 Ender 3s and 2
Holy
CR10s
cow!
for a
Where are
while.
you at now? Huh? What's your print farm look like now?
Well, now we have 4 CR10 S5s. I just bought Raise 3D E2. I have 2 Ender 3, 2 Ender 6s. And then I have 3 Neptune 2s and 3 Ender 3s.
Dear
And
Lord.
yeah, and I have a Troodon on the way. Well, it'll be here eventually. And then we have a Millwright CNC and an FSR. I'm trying to remember who makes it, but we have a laser also.
Dude, incredible. So are these, when you print them, do you print them separately or is it all one piece?
So all the 3.5 inch stuff is pretty much one piece, but like all of our clusters, our instrument clusters that we make for cars to hold like Holly 7s and Holly 686s, those are modular set up. So all we do is we 3D print the outside surrounds, and then I CNC cut all the centers. So we're doing carbon fiber, we're doing ABS, I'm doing like acrylic colors. Well, I think that's it. I'm trying to think. I think there was one more. Oh, and then we're doing brushed aluminum so that so these guys can get different finishes, different looks for their
Nice.
car.
And so the CR10 S5s are putting them all just in one piece and the CNC machine cuts them?
Yeah, so well, the CNC is cutting like the carbon fiber plates.
Uh-huh.
But the S5s are printing all the actual surrounds. They just print the outsides, and then I bolt in the plates.
Dude, that's awesome. And so there is some assembly required on this.
Yeah.
That's okay. That, I mean, it can't all be passive, right? I mean, it's not like you're, printing parts that, they're standalone. They're good parts for what it is that you guys do.
Yeah, when we first started, pretty much everything was standalone, which was nice, but I wanted to get these nice finishes for people, so then
Yeah.
it just became this big
For a
monster
better
that I had to
product,
put all
you
this
have to
stuff.
do something better,
Yeah,
right? And the
that
better
was the only way
product
to get
always
something.
wins.
Yeah, it was the only way to get something really nice for these guys, so I had to do it. Now
I
I
had
don't
to do
sleep.
it. So what profit margin are you normally after? Like what's a good profit margin for you guys?
So my rule of thumb is that I try to do $5 a print hour. So for profit margin for me, that's about,
huge.
yeah, as long as I stay at around $5 a print hour, I'm making decent money. My margins are like, percentage wise, man, I'd have to think. Probably like 200, 250, 250%,
Attaboy.
somewhere in there.
That's a good markup. That's a good markup.
But I mean, that includes, all my pricing includes shipping, all my everything. So
That's good, man. And how long have you been doing this for?
selling stuff about 3.5 years actually. I've been
That's
selling
awesome,
30
man.
prints. Yeah.
And it's such a great niche because, like I said earlier, everyone's doing props and video game stuff, and you come along like, nope, I'm gonna do this, and you make great money.
Yeah.
A lot of people have these side hustles that, I make this and this, but man, you got something good there, Cory. I like that.
Well, thanks. I tried. It's been a lot of work to get to here, but
That's awesome. So what's working today in terms of marketing? What's bringing in the dough?
I mean, our clusters are really popular. Um, and for marketing them, it's still a lot of word of mouth. I don't
That's
advertise still.
awesome.
So, I mean, I'll make ads on Facebook. That's really about it, but it's a lot of word of mouth. I've been doing it long enough now that people kind of know who I am.
That's
So
awesome.
I've become the guy that gets tagged a lot.
That's so awesome, man. That's great. So what's next for you? What are you working on now? What's for the future of the business?
I'm catching up with all my back orders currently,
Ah,
but
it's a problem. That's a common problem to everyone I speak to. I'm trying to catch up on all
yeah.
my orders because business is so good. What a problem to have.
Well, and then a month and a half ago, I was gone for 2 weeks, and I'm still catching up from then. It's been, yeah. But
But
next,
congratulations on the back orders, I guess.
yeah, yeah, it pays for race car parts. It's important to me. But what's next? I mean, we're just keep expanding the cars that we're putting dashes in. So right now, currently, we're working on GTOs, all the C10s, just like C Mustang. And I got one more that I'm almost done with. I'm trying to remember what it is. Oh, uh, Hyundai Genesis.
Wow,
Uh,
didn't see that coming.
yeah, I didn't see that coming either. So, but those are all stuff that are in the pipeline. The new Holly just came out with a 5-inch mount, so I already have designed a new mount for those. So as they come out with new stuff, I try to get them out as quickly as I can. So,
Congratulations, Cory. So that's like such a great story, dude. Just a niche that no one thought about. You saw a gap in the market and you filled it, and now it's all yours.
yeah, yeah, it's not all mine, but it's I hoard a
You're
large
making good
portion
money
of
from
it.
it. At
That's
the
for
very,
sure.
very least, you're making great money from it.
Yeah, yeah, we're doing good. When I started, I never expected. I really was just trying to get like, because I was used to flip maybe 10, 15 grand out of my driveway. I was just looking to, cover that. And it's become way more than I ever thought it would have been.
Congratulations, man.
So,
Maybe you'll be one of the Yakina speed stars here pretty soon, huh?
yeah, yeah. Well, I don't know. I'm gonna have to quit my day job if I do that.
Cool, man. So, let's end this episode. Let's wrap it up with your number one tip for 3D printed profits.
Well, I mean, in all honesty, the best part is to always fill a niche, and it's usually the niche for your hobby. I mean, no one's gonna know. How should I say this? The best way to know what your hobby needs is you. I mean, you're gonna know what other people are gonna want within your hobby. So that's what it was for me. Was I knew what guys wanted in the hobby that I knew a lot about, so it was easy to fill. So I always suggest try to make things in your hobby to help these guys, to help other guys. So that'll make you the most money.
Dude, that's awesome, man. Cory, again, thank you so much. So if you stayed till the end of this episode, I promised you I was going to give you a product idea that you guys can use yourself to start your own 3D printing side business. And that product idea for today are medical orthotics. So if you just print, I have a video on it on YouTube via Nico Industries, 3D printed foot inserts. I printed mine in PLA, but after a few more iterations, they're actually better to print in TPU with a higher inflow percentage, so that there's a lot more give on the arch of your foot. Now, these can be made for $2-3, if that, on your machine, maybe even less than $1. And you guys can sell these things at custom for 50 to 100 bucks. That is a giant, giant profit, you guys. So get designing 3D printed orthotics, and then you guys expand from there. And all you're really selling is footwear. So again, Cory, fantastic story. Thank you so much for being here. I really, really appreciate it. Good luck in the future, and we'll connect again for in about a year for a Where Are They Now episode. Yeah.
Right. Hopefully still here. I'm hoping.
Oh, you'll be here, man. I don't think anyone's gonna catch you, but
Hope so. I appreciate that.
All right, brother. Peace out.
You too. Bye.
All right, let's do some bonus material. All right, so what were you saying, Corey?
Well, like, so you were talking about why I said people should do their hobbies, and it's because I think people are going to know their hobbies better. There, for me, when I see people doing things that like they're selling print time, there's no passion in it for me. Especially for some, these guys are just like, yeah, someone else made that. I'm like, well, that's not cool. You know, you want to sell things that one you know a lot about. You know, like for me, I know a lot about cars. That's all I've ever done my whole life. All I've ever done is cars. So when I sell stuff, I love it. I love
Dude,
seeing
I
that I
love that
sell.
you know the initial D references I was giving you. I was like, oh, I can talk initial D with this guy. Great show.
Oh
Love
yeah,
that anime.
yeah. All I like I said, my whole life's pretty much been pretty much revolved around cars. It's a problem. My wife hates it, but I love
I
it.
bet
So
she's
for
happy as
me,
shit now, huh?
no,
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 still not.
no. It takes too much time.
Dude.
But you know, like for me, I liked filling these problems that all these guys had. So I love when I sell something that I solve these guys' problems. When you're just selling someone else's designs, which is what a lot of guys are either selling a design or something like that. I don't know. There's just not a lot of passion in it for me. I get there's money, but to me, it's the passion of making something that's filling a problem that no one else could figure out or that other people didn't want to do because they just didn't care. To me, that's the best.